Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri shares in the activities of the 8th edition of the Raisina Forum in New Delhi, as he also held meetings with a number of his counterparts. Here are more details.
On the first session of the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting in New Delhi on Friday, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri and Mexico's Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard discussed bilateral relations and regional and international issues of mutual concern. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ambassador Ahmed Abu Zaid said both ministers discussed the close ties between Egypt and Mexico, expressing their aspiration to improve economic relations between the two countries and increase the volume of investment. Shukri also met with his counterparts from Brazil and Argentina, tackling ways to boost economic and trade relations between South America and Egypt. Abu Zaid said the ministers exchanged views on a number of regional and international issues of common concern, most notably the food crisis and the repercussions of the Russian-Ukrainian crisis on the international arena. Shukri discussed with his Argentinian counterpart, Santiago Cafiero, the importance of boosting bilateral economic and trade ties, especially since Argentina is Egypt's second trade partner in Latin America. The two ministers discussed the strenuous efforts being exerted to prevent interrupting global food supply chains, as well as efforts to achieve fair and sustainable development for all countries around the whole world. The spokesperson said Shukri and his Argentinian counterpart also exchanged views on ways to address current global challenges, including the crises of the coronavirus pandemic and global food shortages. In a separate meeting on the sidelines of the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting, Shukri and his Brazilian counterpart Mauro Vieira called for strengthening trade exchange and advancing the free trade agreement between Egypt and the South American trade bloc Mercosur. Mercosur is a sub-regional bloc that promotes a free trade and the free movement of goods, people, and currency between Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. Shukri lauded Brazil's keenness to restore its role in the international arena and return to its commitment to international law, especially with regard to the Middle East issues. The Egyptian foreign minister expressed appreciation for the participation of Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in COP27, saying that the new president of Brazil heralded a positive change in his country's climate policy. Shukri stated that Egypt is ready to develop all aspects of political, economic, cultural, and parliamentarian relations with Denmark. He made the remarks in a meeting on Friday with his Danish counterpart Lars Rasmussen on the sidelines of the Raisina dialogue in New Delhi. The foreign minister congratulated Rasmussen on assuming his post. Shukri extended appreciation for Denmark's hosting of the ministerial meeting on climate action in Copenhagen last year. The meeting between the two ministers also discussed a number of issues of mutual concern. Shukri and Rasmussen discussed the coming visit by the Danish Prime Minister to Egypt. Egypt top diplomat also held bilateral talks with the Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan. Shukri, the president-designate of the last UN Climate Change Conference, spoke in a radio interview on Friday about international climate action. He talked about the Egyptian vision for international climate action, highlighting the great challenges it faces with regards to the global energy crisis and the geopolitical tensions. In this context, the Egyptian presidency of COP27 set a range of goals to be achieved during the conference, including maintaining climate action as a priority while taking into account the conditions and concerns of developing countries.
Egypt condemned in the strongest terms the provocative statements of an Israeli minister in which he called for erasing the Palestinian village of Hawara. A statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that such statements represented a dangerous and unacceptable incitement to violence, contrary to all laws, customs, and moral values, and lacked the responsibility that any official should have. The statement also stressed Egypt's stance, calling for the necessity of halting provocative or inciting actions against the Palestinian people. It also called for putting an end to unilateral measures in order to achieve calmness between the Palestinian and the Israeli peoples and to pave the way for the resumption of the peace process based on the two-state solution. And back home, under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the 23rd phase of We Are All One initiative continues its activities nationwide. The initiative aims at providing various food and non-food commodities to citizens at low prices. The initiative has hundreds of branches, including key super and hypermarkets nationwide, as well as Interior Ministry's outlets MN. The Interior Ministry also announced the increase of the super and hypermarkets participating in the initiative. The commodities are sold at a discount of 25 to 60% of its market price.